Hi Capricorn, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in December, and welcome to your Astrology 33 reading for December 2019. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, by the way, I won't be doing those until probably the second week of December. I'll definitely make an announcement on the channel when I start that up. And also, thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. Alright, so we have a Celtic Cross spread in front of us. Got a couple extra cards that popped up there. Then I also pulled a couple of oracle cards that we'll read after we get through the main spread, and we have a mudra card as well. So plenty to get to. It's a bit of an interesting looking spread, so at certain points during the reading I might kind of go off the path to some specific things I'm seeing that might not resonate for all of you, but I will try to keep the centralized theme going throughout the reading. Alright? So in the main situation position, we have the moon. So this could be pointing to a few things. I mean, for one, there will be a new moon in your sign towards the end of the month, and that'll be an eclipse as well. So there could definitely be some significance of that, obviously. But beyond that, this can just be pointing to perhaps some confusion around the situation that you're dealing with right now. Maybe you're not seeing things quite clearly. I will say, at the time I'm recording this, I'm basically recording this as the Taurus full moon energy is going right now in November. So, during that, we actually still have Mercury retrograde, and even in December, Mercury will be out of retrograde, but the shadow period will still linger for about the first week of December. So, just could be some confusion that might have been taking place in November for you guys, and now you're trying to get it all cleared up and squared away. That could be the way it's playing out for some of you. Not to mention having a new moon in your 12th house too, maybe, which would be towards the end of November for you guys. So maybe coming into December, you're just really tapped into your intuition, but at the same time, maybe you're not sure you could trust what you're feeling too. So that could be what's going on there. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn card. It represents the middle 10 degrees of Capricorn, which more or less represents right at the very beginning of January. So this can just be, for one, saying that maybe you have some plans that you're trying to put together to start the new year. And maybe there's just a little bit of confusion for you right now as to how you want to tackle those, Could be around expansion of some kind. So in a very real world way it could play out. Maybe some of you are trying to renovate your homes. That's one possible way that the energy could be playing out. And maybe, for example, if you're married or have roommates, maybe there's some, not necessarily disagreements, but maybe you guys are just trying to get on the same page as far as what exactly you want to do in that area. This could also be around your workplace as well. Maybe you guys are trying to launch a new project in January, and you guys are just trying to put the pieces together as far as, okay, well, how are we going to make this work? Looks like it could be somewhat of a major undertaking, but the good thing is with this card showing up here, it could just be saying that, it might take some work to get it done, and especially with the moon, with there being some confusion around it right now. But the good thing is usually things with this energy have that long-standing vibe to them, and also something that you tend to be happy with in the long run. So at least there's that. In the foundation position, we have the Justice card. So this is actually the major arcana card for Libra. And for you guys, Libra is your 10th house. So this could definitely, again, like I said, maybe be related to career for some of you, where maybe there's something that you guys are trying to get off the ground. Maybe you're just setting things up right now. It's still in the discussion phase. And then once January hits, you guys will really kick off the project. That could be one way it's playing out. Another way this could be playing out too, actually, that I'm getting for some of you, this could even be maybe around some kind of an inheritance where maybe, someone had passed recently, and I'm sorry if that's the case, but maybe there's some discussion around that, how the assets going to be divided up. For example, that's one way it could be going. And then for even maybe a smaller percentage of you, this could even represent maybe if you've been going through a divorce and maybe trying to get assets squared away that way. But the good thing is, seeing this show up in the foundation position, this does mean that things most likely will work out in a fair way for all parties involved. And if this represents an actual person, possibly a Libra, given that they're in the foundation with a major arcana card, it can show that they'll play a pivotal role for you guys in this month. All right, past energy, we have the Magician and the Five of Wands. So this is actually a Leo energy, the first 10 degrees of Leo. So going back to that thing I was feeling around inheritance for you guys, where maybe someone had passed away, um, or maybe even an ending of a relationship. I feel like for some of you, this might have been during the time of Leo, for one. That's one thing that I'm getting. And another is whatever that was around. Like I said, if it was divorce proceedings that kicked off around that time, or if there was a death in the family or a friend, someone that was close enough to leave you something in their will. This could just be saying that there might have been some deception around that where, everyone was trying to get a piece of what was left behind, basically. And there might have been a little bit of deception around that as far as who was getting what. So that could be what's going on there. All right. In the present position, we have the Eight of Cups. So this usually represents walking away from something because you're not finding it to be as fulfilling as you'd hoped, and going in search of something more. So that's one way this energy could be playing out for you guys. Well, this is a Pisces card, so that would represent your third house of communication. So maybe you've had some, maybe you have been trying to compromise with people in some way, shape, or form, and maybe you're finding that you're not really getting anywhere with that. So you might just decide, you know what, I'm just going to walk away from this situation for the time being. Maybe not permanently, but maybe you just decide it's for the best, at least for now, for you to just walk away from whatever the situation is. Given that this is also 12th house energy too, we have had, Mercury retrograde. We've had Jupiter moving through your 12th house, and it's actually going to move into your sign now. So that could be what this is around too. Maybe you've just really been thinking about things, and maybe now you're finally ready to move on those ideas, basically, now with Jupiter moving out of the 12th house into your sign. So that could be what's going on there as well. And like I said, there is going to be that new moon in your 12th house as well, and that's actually going to be trine Chiron in your 4th house. So this can bring some healing to the situation if there was some kind of, for example, maybe some squabbles with family around some kind of inheritance or something along those lines. Or like I said, even if you're just dealing with one person, maybe your spouse or roommate, and you guys are trying to figure out how you want to renovate the home, maybe there's a little bit of arguments around that, but that can take a turn for the positive. All right, in the near future position, we have the Five of Swords. So this is actually an Aquarius energy, and the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. So for you guys, Aquarius is your house of finances. So this is another indicator to me that I keep picking up on that vibe of maybe there was some, like I said, I feel like some inheritance left behind, and there might be people fighting over that, which is sad, you know what I mean? But that message just keeps hitting me for some reason. So hopefully that's resonating for some of you. And this is what, it seems to be centered around money. And again, I feel like this is probably people fairly close to you. So could be close friends, obviously relatives, like I said, and there could be some disappointment around that. And like I said, there might have been some deception in the past around who was supposed to get what. And maybe now that's all coming to light, maybe with the help of some kind of legal intervention. But that's really what I'm picking up on there. For others of you, this can just be as simple as just, maybe having a bit of an argument with friends or family, possibly, given that we are going to have a lot of holidays between November and December. But yeah, what I always say with the Five of Swords, that's one of those conversations where you know deep down going into it that nothing really positive is going to come out of it, but you still end up engaging in it anyway. So I will say you guys actually have all of the five energies. You have the Five of Wands in the past, Five of Swords in the near future. We see the Five of Pentacles in the fears, and then Five of Cups in the outcome. But particularly that one, that would lead me to say that if you guys do feel that energy kind of coming on, try to take more of that Eight of Cups approach of just walking away from the conflict if you can, because seeing the Five of Cups in the outcome position shows me that you might end up regretting engaging in it, So maybe it'll be one of those things where more damage is done than you'd hoped for. So if you can avoid it, I know it could obviously be easier to be said than done too, right? Because people engaging in that energy, it is hard to walk away from that sometimes because they're obviously not coming from their higher self, so it could just create issues there. But that's just something that's coming across to me. All right, in the position of your energy toward the situation, we have the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So to me, this shows a couple things. For one, there's that guarded energy, right? Reluctance. Again, maybe this does represent the conflicts that you have been going through, right? We see the guy has a bandage on his head and it looks like he's looking, off in the distance and not in a very trusting, comfortable manner, right? It looks like he's just waiting for the next battle to begin. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, it could just be as simple as maybe whatever money is owed to you, it's just been really slow in coming your way. So that could be what's going on there. Others view this could just be saying that you're reluctant to invest money, time, energy in some way, shape, or form. And, maybe even that's what this is about. Maybe there's someone who's trying to get you, to invest money, especially whether you've had an inheritance or not. There could be someone in your inner circle that's trying to get you to pour some money into something, and maybe you're really reluctant to do so. So, maybe they're giving you this idea, oh, why don't you partner up with me and we'll do X, Y, Z, right? And you feel like you're not, you feel maybe a little shaky about it with the moon in the main position there. You're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to invest that right now. And, maybe they've proven themselves to be untrustworthy or unreliable in some way, shape, or form. So maybe you're just really reluctant to do so. That could be what's going on there. If that's the case, as December progresses, the fog should start to lift in general. So keep that in mind. If you do feel that kind of feeling, there's no harm in trying to hold off if you can. Again, going back to that Eight of Cups energy to just walk away. I do have to say at the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Pentacles. So, this could just represent that you are financially well off in some way, shape, or form. And, it looks like you're coming from that position of abundance. So, again, maybe that's what it is too. Maybe it's just people trying to hit you up for money in some way, shape, or form. Again, whether you got some kind of inheritance or some settlement or not. Just seems like there's people around that seem to want to have access to your resources. All right, in the environment position, we have the Lovers. So, this is almost going to sound a little bit contradictory to what I was saying, but this does represent that there probably is someone that you can partner up with in your environment, that it actually is going to be trustworthy. That's the main thing that I'm picking up here. It can be a new romantic relationship. If that's the case, as far as the timing when you might see that, like I said, Jupiter is going to move into your sign early in December, and then it's actually going to trine Uranus in Taurus, which is your fifth house. So that might bring someone new into the picture. Most likely, I'm feeling for most of you, this would be someone new. So let's say, and then that would make sense too, as far as, let's say you did just get out of some kind of hellish relationship, right? And maybe even had to take legal action to get everything squared away. And maybe this is you now, just very reluctant to invest, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily mean money, but just invest your time, your energy, just any resources into a new connection. And maybe there's this new person coming along and you're like, I don't know if I could trust them, right? And that could be why this Moon and Three of Pentacles energy is showing up too, where they might come across as someone who you see that possible stability with, but you're not quite sure you can trust it, So maybe that's what's going on there. So you will have to differentiate. I have a feeling that whoever would come with this energy, this would be someone that you've dealt with in that way before, so you wouldn't be surprised if they acted that way. So that's why I say this could be someone new, not necessarily, one of these characters where you find yourself in these types of dynamics quite often. So hopefully that helps differentiate. All right, and in the hopes or fears position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So I would say no one's really going to hope for this type of energy. It's not the best energy to have. So this can just be a fear of yours. And again, like I said, it could just be maybe you're just reluctant to put resources into something. Like I said, maybe it's an investment of some way, shape, or form that someone's pressuring you to make. Maybe it's even because there's some kind of inheritance you were supposed to get, and maybe there's been holdups with it because people have been disputing it legally, right? So you're like, well, even though on the surface it seemed like I was supposed to be getting this, I don't know if that's going to happen with all these legal things going on, right? So maybe like, well, I don't want to, you know, spend anything I don't have, which is smart in that regard, right? But this can just represent just a general fear, like I said, for those of you where if you have gotten out of a pretty harsh relationship recently and you're just now getting over that and a new one presents itself, again, that could just be pointing to that fear with that Nine of Wands energy too, of, fearing actually putting your energy into a connection like that again, because you might feel like you're not fully healed from this one, right? The previous one, rather. And then in the outcome position, we have the Five of Cups. So this is actually a card of Scorpio, which for you guys, that's your 11th house, once again, of friendships. So this can definitely be, again, maybe some kind of arguments you've had with friends, right? And why that could definitely be the case too is because Mars will be in your 11th house of friendships. So, on the one hand, I could say that you might be engaging with your friends a lot, but of course, with that as well, given that it is Mars energy, there could sometimes be conflicts with that also, especially given that towards the end of November, actually, Mars in your 11th house is going to oppose Uranus in your 5th. So there could be some arguments during that time, and maybe, let's say around Thanksgiving, right? You go home to see your friends, maybe getting some kind of conflict with them, and then maybe even coming into Christmas time, you still might not feel like the issue was resolved, and you just might be looking back on it with regret, That's one way it could play out. For those of you who did lose someone, like I said, if there was a death, maybe I'm feeling for most of you that would have been around the time of Leo. Maybe this is just saying naturally with the holidays, now it's your first time not having them around, right? So that could be what the sadness is around here. But if it's none of those things for you guys and it really is just related to something with finances, I will say keep in mind that the Five of Cups energy in a way is neutral. And the reason I say that is we have the gray background, right? So it's not like your black type background that we see with the Five of Pentacles, and it's not like the sunny skies either that we see in some of the other cards. But to me, that represents you can dwell on the spilled cups there, but you also can keep in mind that there's some still behind you as well. So there's always going to be more. I know it's easier said than done. Like I said, especially for those of you who did lose someone, then yeah, that's not easy to just put behind you, especially with the holidays. So, But if this is just strictly finances for you guys and you're just worried about that in some way, shape, or form, I do see some pretty positive energies here. And like I said, Jupiter coming into your sign. Venus will be moving through your second house, I think at least part of December. So, you might get a boost in that area as well. Let's see what the Oracle cards have to say. Alright, first card we have is Blessed. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 22. Okay, it says, something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. The Oracle's message: there are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. So every time I've seen this card, I always had a bit of an issue when it's like deep down, you did not deserve any of it. I don't know. It just seems a little weird, right? But maybe that's really pointing to this lover's energy here because, we could almost say, I think it mentioned something about divine intervention in there, but makes me think of the angel symbolism with the clouds there, right? So maybe this is just some kind of a positive boost in your environment. given that Gemini is your sixth house too, it could even be around work. So maybe, you are involved in some kind of toxic thing in your work environment, and maybe a new opportunity comes along. I mean, we are going to be entering into eclipse season, and given that it starts off with the new moon in your sign, that's even a possibility too. And like I said, it could even be, like I said, for some of you, you might have put a really toxic relationship behind you, and now finally maybe got it legally taken care of, so you could truly put it behind you. And now maybe there's this new connection coming along, and you might not trust it because you're like, okay, well, I just went through hell, right? So easier said than done to just jump into it. But that's why I say, if this is someone new, maybe keep an open mind. But yeah, if obviously they wouldn't be this person. I feel like I said this person or group of people is someone you've had conflicts with before. And that's why I say, if you can, just try to avoid that altogether. All right. The relationship message says you are moving towards a deepening of intimacy in a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. So yeah, like I said, definitely keep an eye out for that new moon in your sign towards the end of December, because not only, like I said, we have Jupiter in your sign, it's going to be a couple degrees away from that new moon, and then Uranus in your fifth house. So that's going to be really supportive energies for those areas, your first and fifth house. So definitely could be some kind of a new start there. All right, and then the prosperity message says unexpected windfalls and good fortune come your way now. You're in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have stymied your success seem to disappear on their own. Be ready to receive. The windows of opportunity will open wide. Accept the blessings given to you now and don't forget to share them. Obviously this is a very low probability thing for some of you, but another thing that comes to my mind too here in the windfall aspect of it is to say, especially around the new moon again, just pick up a lottery ticket or two, nothing crazy, maybe a scratch off or just a couple, $1, $2 tickets or something, because that could be a pretty lucky time in that regard too. So maybe it's even one of those things where maybe you have gone through some kind of financial loss, and then, on a whim you buy a lottery ticket and end up winning some of the money back, I don't think like huge jackpots, but hey, if so, feel free to cut me in since I gave you the advice. All right. The last thing we have for oracle cards, we have Ant Spirit. It says time to collaborate. There's the artwork, and the number is 1. This is from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Not sure I ever got this card, actually, so I'm interested to see what it says. Okay. It says, when Ant Spirit comes to visit, it's to celebrate the benefits of working in a partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Spirit reminds you that to build your dream, you need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnership, the one you have with Spirit. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused on co-creating your reality with others and with Spirit. Remember that the world around you can easily seduce you if you don't have some sort of practice or discipline like meditation to keep you on track as you build the life you desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time. The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now at an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it, whether you need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there for you. Everything is working to support you right now. So that was interesting there too when it says, if you're trying to build a team, find a new tribe. So I could see that playing out a few ways. Find a new tribe, like I said, maybe if there is some kind of difficulty with friends, right? Maybe this is even as simple as you're moving away from your friends. So now you feel like, all right, well now I have to like build these new friendships, That could be one way it's playing out for some of you. Maybe that's what the Eight of Cups is saying, where you're like, you have to take an opportunity, but at the same time, you're a little disappointed because you're going to be away from your friends. But building a team, for those of you where it resonated where I was talking about, maybe you're trying to get a work project off the ground, but there's still some confusion around that. Maybe that's what it is too. You're trying to figure out, all right, well, who do I want to have on board for this project? So looks like it's saying you could trust others there in that regard too. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. All right, and the last thing we have is a mudra card. So the mudra you guys got for this month is the Mushtika mudra. There it is right there. And the keyword for it is selflessness. All right, so doesn't look like we'll be able to fit everything in the frame here, so I'll just hold it up for a bit so you guys can pause it or take a screenshot, assuming it'll focus. All right, let's try this again. There we go. All right, so like I said, not everything's fitting in the frame here, so if you want to pause it, take a screenshot, you can do so. Then I'll move it up so you can get the rest of the info. All right, it says weakens ego grasping and self-defeating habits, awakens enlightened attitude and the heart of compassion, reduces anxiety and self-doubt, calms the spirit, clears the mind, benefits the heart and vascular system. So that sounds like something you think would be helpful for you guys. I will leave the name of that mudra in the description of the video as well, so you could look into it some more. We'll wrap up there. Happy early birthday, like I said, to those of you who celebrate in December, and happy holidays. I'll see you guys next year. All right, bye.